Good morning and welcome to another edition of the Morning Cup sponsored by Kestrel Aircraft.
This is Todd Lowe-Henry, the manager of digital and social media with Kestrel Aircraft. And I'm in a place I've never been before, at the Seaplane base at Oshkosh. It's a beautiful place, and we're here to talk about a beautiful airplane. This is Darrell Lynds from MVP, and he's going to show us one of the most talked about concepts at the show. Darrell?
Yeah, thanks for the interview, and what you're doing here, by the way, is very cool, this technology. So big thumbs up to you guys. Okay, so this is the MVP aircraft. It's been a concept for many years and a dream, and my partner Steve Hugh and I, he's the CEO, I'm the president, decided to do some initial funding and then see what kind of talent we could get to get involved in the program. And that's probably the biggest blessing of this project is the people that it's attracted, the caliber, and we'll talk about that a bit in the process. But maybe I'll say a few words right now. The leader of our engineering, very important, is Mike Van Staagen, and Mike has been involved in some high volume projects with aircraft. With the Cirrus, he was involved in the engineering of the fuselage of the Cirrus and a lot of the systems. So obviously a very successful project. He then went on to be the lead designer of the Cirrus jet. Again, another volume project, very complex. So we went to him with the concepts, and he did a study and found that what we wanted to do actually would work. Pretty complicated, and so he has led up the engineering program, and that has been another big step to help fund this project and the reputations that are getting involved. So that's all on the website. There's a lot more people involved here. I should say that the manufacturing solution is in place for our beginning volumes of numbers. We have Glasair on the west coast. We'll be manufacturing the airplane. We also have Fibercraft on the east coast in Spruce Creek. Together, that's going to give us a capacity of manufacturing between 6 and 8 airplanes per month, which is a really nice start to the business. It's modest, but we know that model works. If it goes beyond that, then we can scale up. So it's basically the plan is to walk before we run and use known talent to get this really cool airplane done.
You guys got a great business plan, but let's see how some of this stuff works.
Okay. So what we're going to do is I'm going to simulate what happens when this airplane lands, and the whole point is this: we want the aircraft to continue to participate once you get to your destination. And that's what we see as being one of the problems, is that sport airplanes, when they get to the destination, essentially go into a hangar and start costing you money. Yeah. Okay. So so when we get to our destination, the first thing you want to do is, this is all in the way of the pilot. So the first thing we do is we retract the forward canopy.
Okay, so what we're working on here is that the pilot is able, once the plane lands, the pilot is able to pull a lever that easily sends the canopy up and back and out of the way of the pilot. And that's a simple movement that can be controlled with just one hand.
Yeah, we had a little training issue here. So there's a second lock in the system here that's an override. So we just did that part of the retraction.
That's the problem when you put a sales guy in the,
There you go. But we're in training. So the issue is this: you get to your destination, and the windscreen needs to get out of the way to do the functions that the aircraft is going to do when it gets to its destination. So now where we have is a configuration. The canopy is up and locked on top of the wing, and now we have a large area here. You see there's a catwalk on the side of the aircraft, and also to the nose of the aircraft. You can stand on here, go across to the other side. So the docking solution is that you can get to either side of the airplane, you can get to the dock itself. So what we're after is that you don't need an attendant at the destination of the airplane to dock it. That's one of the number one probably irritants with the amphibs. You need a lot of help when you get to your docking destination. Okay, so now then let's say we're at a location here. Okay, so we're at our destination. Let's say we want to do some fishing on the lake. We want to then stay for the night. So here's what we're going to do. We have a hard point on our deck here. We'll take one of the seats, and they're both removable. Okay, that seat is now in the hard point. couple of functions here. It's what they call a pedestal seat. You see this on bass boats all the time. It can also be used for fishing, for photography, for some type of maybe perhaps marine research. It's a comfortable place to work for longer periods of time. Now we do suggest that if you're going to be on the water for quite a while, you have a risk, okay, of perhaps rain, maybe unexpected waves, a passing boat going by. So we suggest what you do is retract the panel. This goes up to this position.
And that's all of your instrumentation that's up and out of the way.
Right. All of the electronics are in this pod here. It's essentially waterproof. So is the wiring harness, and all the controls and electronics are up here. So now you've got a situation much safer situation in terms of water. But a few more things that can happen here. Since we've got that out of the way, we've done our fishing, we've got dinner, we decided we want to stay for the night. So one more thing we can do, and that's this control column is removable, and John is going to put what we call the origami deck in place. This is where they are during flight. They're at the forward deck. We then fold it back. Okay, and we are in place. So what that does is it gives us a surface that's on this side of the airplane that's 9 feet long, right into the baggage compartment area. There's one for each side of the airplane, which now gives you 2 compartments that are 9 feet long, so perfect for overnight sleeping. And so what we've done is we have designed an accessory to help with that. It's a tent. You can see it on the website. The tent is actually quite large. It covers the entire nose of the airplane, comes around almost like a bed skirt and cinches, so it uses the structure of the aircraft for strength. The tent is 8.5 feet wide. Again, 9 foot long sleeping area. That's a big tent. And what's kind of cool about it is inside, you're sleeping in the center area here. So you essentially have a little bit of a pedestal bed. A lot easier getting out of bed when you've got a place you can put your feet down instead of trying to get up from the ground. So it's a really big, comfortable tent. Now, here's the big thing. So we're after functionality at the destination. One thing we have to be careful about is, again, the water risk. Let's say we're in a situation where we had one couple suggest that they'd like to use the plane for what's called SNUBA, and that's where you have the oxygen tank on the surface in the plane, a hose going down with oxygen to the diver that's 20 feet down. What happens if you get that sudden thunderstorm, boat going by? So what we've done is we've made the cockpit, again, essentially water resistant to the extent that right now in this configuration there's nothing below that can be damaged by water. In fact, it's our goal in the engineering of the airplane that if this cockpit was fully swamped with water, you still have a functioning airplane. Well, again, all of your electronics are up here. What you do in that situation is turn on your bilge pump and wait. Draw the water out of the cockpit, airplane comes back up again. We know that we have enough flotation to handle that amount of water, and so we're going to prove that through actual testing over the next couple of years. So essentially what we're after is maximizing the customer's value when it gets to its destination, and then increasing the ruggedness of the seaplane while it's there.
Well, like I said, Darrell, this is one of the most interesting things that we've seen at the show, and if you want to know more about MVP, you can go to mvp.aero, and you can find this interview and many more at themorningcup.net. Thanks for watching with us today.